Most service businesses, they don't have a lead problem. What they actually have is an income problem that's disguised as an asset. If you run a referral driven business, then I'm sure everything looks pretty good on paper. Deals are closing, revenue's coming in, you're pretty busy. But here's the honest truth and some real talk here. I already know that uneasy feeling that you're probably having, knowing that you don't really know when the next new client is going to be coming in. And the bottom line here is we really don't know how far we can go. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Emmanuel. I am the founder and kind of chief talking head guy of this cool little part of the internet. I also run a consulting agency that is specifically designed to help service providers grow and scale their business using systems. So if you are a fractional CFO, a top producing real estate agent, if you're the owner of a med spa, hey, I'm here to help you. Now, here's what most people get wrong. It's that they believe referrals are bad. But the truth here is that referrals are factually, they're not bad. That actually means that you're doing something good. So people are wanting to refer you more business. The true problem is relying on referrals as your main source of revenue for your business. Because at the end of the day, referrals are a variable that we cannot control. And when we can't control when the next referral is coming in, that's when scarcity and anxiety start to creep in. And that makes for a very uneasy feeling as a founder or owner of a business. So let me add some context to what exactly I'm referring to. I'm currently working with a accounting firm. Owner, her name, Felicia. And Felicia originally was kind of stuck at this weird revenue level where she would be making on 1 year anywhere from about 150K to on a good year about 300K. And it was very up and down, not very consistent. And the root cause of that inconsistency, basically relying strictly on referrals. Her words, not mine, but she said that she is so good at her job that she was pretty much gifted referrals whenever like a new contract would start to expire from other old clients. So she kind of lived off of that cycle of being gifted referrals year on year on year for a good maybe 5-6 years until it started to dry up last year. And that's when the real anxiety started to kick in because she got into a really tough financial situation and she wasn't able to make it work. Her revenue dropped under 100K and she started to panic. She really needed to figure out how to make things work, especially because she was the sole income provider of her household. So the plan was real simple. We just needed to develop the system to have her stop relying on referrals. And this is essentially what that system looked like. So check this out. So the basic idea here is that most founders live off of this referral driven cycle. And the referral driven cycle looks like this. We start off by landing a client. And then from there, we move into the next step, which is we onboard and then we deliver on whatever we promise to that client. But that's where stuff starts getting a little red. Because what we don't realize is that the delivery starts to consume our time. And because delivery is now consuming our time, what ends up happening is our marketing pauses. And when marketing pauses, guess what happens next? The pipeline, it dries up. And then when the pipeline dries, then we head into the next and final phase of this really painful cycle, which is the urgency appears. Then you start trying to figure out a bunch of different sales strategies or tactics or gimmicks to fill up the pipeline again, and then the cycle repeats, which essentially means we land a client, and then from there we onboard. We run out of time because we spend so much time onboarding and delivering. Then our marketing pauses, the pipeline dries, then we start looking for marketing gimmicks again to try to fill up the pipeline. Now, because of this, we inertly start feeling some type of way. And there's a couple feelings that I'm pretty sure we've all felt at one point in time. First one being that we find out very quickly that revenue equals unpredictable. Another feeling, we're very busy throughout the day, but we're also uneasy. Additionally, we also find out very quickly that it's very hard for us to forecast. And since we can't forecast, what ends up happening is we feel feast or famine. And lastly, because we maybe have a client that we're currently working with, the revenue feels safe, but in reality, and if we really be honest with ourselves, it doesn't. You see, these are symptoms of a referral-driven business. Now, the goal here is that we need to prescribe a different solution to not have this feeling overcoming us every single time a client decides to churn out and we don't know when the next client is going to be coming in. Which brings me to kind of the next big slide, or the next big idea is, how do we fix this? What does the system look like? Well, the system is really based off of two very simple principles. Principle number one is that security is not driven by revenue. Once we're able to shift that frame or that belief, we'll actually find that we get a lot less anxiety. But the main thing here is that security, in reality, is actually driven by control. So, what does control look like? It's very simple. Step one is that we need to make sure that we have a system, a lead flow system, where we can control the inputs. What we found to work very, very well, just basic advertising, basic paid advertising. Now, social media can do this exact same lever for far cheaper, but it does take quite a bit of time to get established. One of the fastest and easiest ways that we can turn on a switch and control inputs is really just by running paid ads. And when we're running paid ads and we see the leads coming in, what gets very, very clear, very, very quick is our conversion rates. And if we know our conversion rates, aka what it takes to convert a complete stranger into a prospect into a booked appointment into, hopefully a close, then what we're able to do from there is we're going to be able to forecast. And once we're able to forecast, something magical happens. The leads arrive before urgency, aka the pipeline does not dry up. And when the pipeline doesn't dry up, then something magical happens. Your referrals are now bonuses for your business instead of being the main revenue driver for your business. You see, this is exactly what a system based off of lead flow looks like. You're able to identify and control the inputs. You're able to understand conversion rate. And when you understand conversion rate, you can create a predictable output, aka you can clearly understand what it's going to take for you to acquire a client every month or every week or every day. By the way, quick side note, if you found any value in this video, really appreciate it if you can hit the like button, subscribe button, bell icon, all that good stuff. It really helps out the channel, and thank you so much in advance. Now to land the plane. You see, referrals produce income, but systems produce control. And at the end of the day, control is what we're truly looking for because that creates the security. Having said that, if you really enjoyed this video here, then I highly recommend you check out this video here, or it might be here, one of these places.